What up, infidels? It's another episode of Dangerous Brown. You said I wasn't going to come back. You thought I was bullshit when I said I was back. Well, I'm back. That's 2 in a row, baby. That's 2 in a row. Doing my best. I'm out here just trying hard. You know, that's kind of all you can ask for in life. It's like, hey, are you trying? You know what I mean? Are you trying? Based on, like, that's the most you can do. Like, admittedly, I was born with a lot of benefits and a lot of blessings in life, but I could have easily squandered that away. And there are many who have squandered away a good hand. It's not about what hand you were dealt. It's about what are you doing with that hand. Are you trying? Are you trying? Maybe the hand you're dealt, the best option for you is to sell crack so you can make money for your family. Are you trying hard at selling crack? Are you doing your best? That's what I want you to take away from this. Is whatever you're doing, from doing comedy to, working a 9-to-5 to selling crack to the community that you grew up in, as long as you're doing it with effort. As long as you're doing it with effort, that's the best you can do. You can't really do anything much. You can't do much more than try. Try as hard as you possibly can. And maybe it's not work you gotta try at, but maybe it's a hobby that you're trying really hard at. But you gotta try. You gotta try hard somewhere, right? Like, there's so many people in comedy. You'll see that it's like they would rather be cool than to appear that they're trying. They'd rather appear, I just said they'd rather appear cool. I guess I'll say it again. They'd rather appear cool than try. And you know what I call those people? Broke. Some people can try and be cool. I'm not one of them. But you gotta fucking try. So I hope you guys are out there, anyone who's listening to this, and I hope you're trying. You know what I mean? I hope you're trying. I respect that. If you're not trying, get your shit together. I don't respect that. I'm the only podcast with 10 listeners that'll tell some of them that he doesn't respect them. Because I want the best. I want the best for you. I don't know. Maybe it's just who I am and how I'm built. But I always appreciate an effort, even if it's in something that I wouldn't, necessarily agree in or do myself. A good try is a good try. Is a good try. A good try is a good try is a good try. I'm gonna put that on my tombstone. Hey, I tried. If I died tomorrow, at least I gave it a shot. At least I did my best. And I can go to heaven and or hell, depending on who's right. Knowing that, hey, I did what I thought was my best. One more. You guys feel what I'm saying? You guys get it. This is highbrow stuff. Good to be here. Is not on my way here. I saw this and it caught me off guard. Not caught off guard, but I just thought it was interesting. On my way here, I was behind a car and its license plate said "not gay," and I feel like I was looking at a riddle. You know that scene it's like any of those scenes in fairy tales where you have to answer the troll's riddle to cross the bridge? That's what it felt like a little bit. It's like, what? On your license plate, you put not gay? And I thought about it, and there's only two options, I think, that it has to be, right? One, the driver is a gay guy or girl. I didn't actually see who the driver was. It was a Subaru. It was it was a Subaru, so it could have been a girl. That the driver was gay, and they were just being sort of tongue-in-cheek about it, or like, hey, I'm not gay, and even though it's, or like in some sort of clearly sarcastic way. And I was like, right? That's one option. Option two is that driver is really gay and can't deal with it. Right? Where he just put, I'm not gay, why do you keep asking? It's like, sir, I'm on the road behind you. I'm on the road behind you. No, I wasn't thinking that. Like I said, you were in a Subaru, but my mind didn't go to there immediately. I was like, because that's also a possibility. Some guy who cannot handle it, or a girl, or in between those two things, just couldn't handle it. Just couldn't handle it. And yeah. I was just at a red light, like, what? What would possibly make you want to get a license plate of that? What would possibly make you want to get yo, constantly bringing up your sexuality, like, to bring up your sexuality in a place where no one is asking or no one cares. It's like relax. No way that person's straight. Zero way. I can't. There's too many factors. The license plate and the Subaru. There's no way. I can't imagine. And there's no way it's someone who's, if it's a gay person who's out of the closet, they're a secure person, and if it's not, that's a very insecure person. But I couldn't stop. I was like looking at it like, what? Why? What? It was an Illinois license plate, gay. I guess they're trying though. I guess to go back to what I was saying earlier, is that person is trying. That person is trying to make you think about something. I think that person makes you trying to go, what? What? Why? Why are you... Right. Oh, man. So many weird cars on the road. Yesterday before my show, I saw a windowless van with AIDS testing written on it. I mean, not like spray painted like janky. Like, it was like printed on. It was like AIDS testing, but it was just a regular windowless van. It wasn't even one of those like sort of big testing, like you know those vans that like draw blood and it's just sort of this like bigger moving thing. No, this was just a regular van with AIDS testing written on it, mobile AIDS testing. And it's like, man, I have been, if you've listened to this podcast, you know that I have been in some very low places in my life. Very low places. But I have never been get AIDS testing in a windowless van low. Like, just on the go. I mean, I would say if you're in that situation where you're walking down the street and you see a windowless van and you're like, I should probably get AIDS tested right here, right now, there's at least a 50% chance you have AIDS. There's gotta be, right? To be in that situation, that seems like such a wild situation to just be like, oh, I guess this is the right time to do it. I guess it's the right time. Even as the hypochondriac that I am. I am a legit hypochondriac. I have never been there. That's crazy. Just the middle of 6th Street downtown. So I mean, I get, you know what? I say that aloud, and there are a lot of homeless people there. That seems to be the place where, with a lot of drugs, I'm guessing a lot of shared needles. Because I'm thinking about someone who lives my life. You know, I'm thinking about a person with a home. But now that I think about it, it is a lot like 6th Street on Austin 6th Street is nuts. It's a nuts place to be. And, you know, it is what it is. What was I going to say? Yeah, so maybe it is for the homeless people. Sharing needles, being dirty. Just dirty. And you know homeless people, dirty and gross. You know, the homeless, dirty and gross. So I guess that is for them. But I just feel like if you don't have AIDS, they'll just give it to you in that van. Like, I'm talking the windows blacked out, which I guess is like a privacy thing. It looked legit. I think it was like, I'm going to look this up. The American Health Foundation. Hold on. American Health Foundation, because that's what was on the side of the van. Let's see how legit this place is. American Health Foundation. .org. Justice of okay, this is the first thing that pops up. In 2022, the Justice Department sues the American Health Foundation for providing grossly substandard nursing home services. Hey, they probably provide grossly substandard AIDS testing services. Yo, that's crazy. Who saw that coming? That the windowless AIDS van company was sued by the Justice Department. What a plot twist that nobody saw coming. Okay, we're gonna go through this article real quick. It's not that long. Okay. The Justice Department filed a complaint under the False Claims Act against the AHF, American Health Foundation, and its affiliate corporations, it's a bunch of corporations, for providing grossly substandard skilled nursing services between 2016 and 2018. So this is pre-pandemic. It's a nonprofit organization. Let's see. The complaint alleged that Northern provided substandard services in various ways. For example, the United States alleged that the defendant's facilities failed to follow appropriate infection control protocols and did not maintain adequate staffing levels. Well, the staffing levels is whatever. That's America right now. Taco Bell doesn't have adequate staffing levels. I can't imagine what nursing homes are going through. But they said this would follow appropriate infection protocols. And now I'm supposed to get tested for an infection? The government stepped in and said this is wrong. Let's see. The United States alleged that some of the residents in a dirty pest-infested building, which I don't imagine the van being clean, and unnecessary medications, including antibiotic, antipsychotic, and hypnotic drugs, failed to safeguard the residents' personal possessions. Bro, it sounds like in this van, they're going to drug you and steal your shit. That's crazy. Yo, I did not know there was this much behind it. Let's see. Provide allegations. Okay. Complaint filed by the Civil Division Commercial Litigation Branch. Okay, so that's basically what we got through. Damn, that's dude, that lawsuit is above the AHF website on Google search. And check this out, bro. So now I'm on the AHF website, the American Health Foundation website. This is on some connection type shit. If you go on the AHF website, I don't know. I filmed these Thursday or Friday, so this is Friday. It's coming out Monday, so I don't know if it's still going to be there. But the top thing says drug-resistant gonorrhea alert, and the picture that they use is a boat sinking after it hit an iceberg. We did the Titanic episode last week. I was about to say yesterday. And that's, bro, we are farmers. Bum, 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 bum. We are connected. That's wild. That's why HIV testing. Oh, here's a picture of the van on the website. Free HIV health centers out of the closet. There are mobile testing units around the city in America. Testing is performed by certified counselors using the most advanced technologies, ready 20 minutes or less. Learn more. We're going to learn more about HIV testing. Click learn more, see what happens. freehivtest.net. That's where it takes you to. Let's see. It's obviously a black guy driving the van because we diversity. You gotta get diversity. You can get tested today. Learn more. Skip fat. Ask questions. Okay, I'm not gonna go through the website anymore. But there it is. The AHF. Crazy. Let's see. Thoughts? Let's see what other thoughts I wanted to go through before we get into the two kind of main things that I wanted to talk about. So stuff I'm working on stage. So I was in the Comedy Mothership green room with Jeffrey Berner, and he had this shirt with Abraham Lincoln on it. And we were talking about Lincoln. And he was telling me that apparently Abraham Lincoln had like kind of a high voice and he was super tough to be around. And there's a lot of people that think that Lincoln was secretly gay, which maybe, I don't know. I've never read nothing about the time. But I will say this. If I owned slaves, that's what I would say about the guy who freed them. I'd be like, oh, that Lincoln guy, he fucking sucks, dude. He's gay. He's probably gay, dude. Probably freed him to fuck him, that weirdo. 7 years ago, queer. You know what I mean? I'd be like, oh, bro, that guy obviously sucks. For sure spread rumors about that guy. He probably wasn't a fun guy. He doesn't look like a fun guy. I'll say that. I've never seen a picture of Abraham Lincoln and been like, that guy fucks. That guy is awesome. I'd love to chill with that guy. He's probably got a lot on his mind. It must be crazy to weather. He weathered a civil war. You probably lose a lot of your whimsy after that. You know what I mean? Like the whimsy you had in your soul, gone. After your own countrymen are like, fuck this guy. He tried to free our slaves. Get out of here. The Civil War wasn't about that. It wasn't about slavery. Oh, man. Good old Abe Lincoln, you know? And then I think I talked about this on the podcast before a while ago, but it sort of came up again because I watched Oppenheimer. And I was thinking about anime, how I love anime. And anime is such a hard genre to explain to people who have no idea about it and have maybe seen clips about it and been like, man, this is weird. It doesn't help that it's been co-opted by pedophiles on Twitter. That definitely doesn't help. But like the actual art form and some of the stories they tell are pretty incredible and pretty out there. They're very out there. Like, the way I would describe anime is it's the art form that you get when you leave an island nation relatively isolated for hundreds of years, and then pretty soon after they're reintroduced to larger society, you drop 2 atomic bombs on them. That's how you get anime, like tentacles and shit. That's how you get it. Like here is, for those of you who've never seen it, this is a very dumbed down simplification of the plot of a very famous anime named Naruto. And I would say it's one of the most famous animes of all time. And this is one of the sort of big crossover hits that there's a good chance a lot of people who are into anime now, their first exposure into it was Naruto. It's in that level. It's for my generation, it was Dragon Ball Z, and then the next generation, it was Naruto. And Naruto was, I would say, probably bigger, at least in America, a cultural impact on America. But here is the dumbed down plot: a ninja from a village of ninjas that was devastated by an attack by a demon nine-tailed fox, which suspiciously looks like a mushroom cloud. A ninja from that village has to go and try to reunite with his estranged best friend so he can lead him on the path to righteousness so that they can team up together and fight the moon. That's the basic plot. Very basic, dumbed-down plot of Naruto. And it's crazy, right? And you might be thinking, how do you even come up with such an idea? Radiation poisoning. I call it cultural fallout. The physical fallout is done, but it's still sprinkled all over the culture. There's so many references to the anime. Like a lot of anime is something horrific happens. Not a lot of anime. There's a fair amount, or at least of the ones I've seen, where something bad happens, and then the characters try to go back to a time before the bad thing happens. Attack of the Titan, something bad happens. People are like, what happened beforehand? Full Metal Alchemist. Bad thing happens at the time. It's hard to explain. That one's even hard to explain. Like two young kid alchemists try to bring their like mom back to life or some shit and end up blowing themselves up and transforming the younger brother's soul into a suit of armor. I don't remember exactly how it goes because it's been a while, but that was a great one. Oh, hello. We're going to the backup camera. Texting Josh right now. Main camera shut down like it did last week. We're still figuring out. We're still figuring everything out, I think. So we're doing it now. Shut down. Now I gotta text him, make sure the main camera's on before I go on. Before I go on to my next thing, I just want to make sure that this side camera is still going on. Because that's an important thing. It feels like it is. And let's see. It's still recording? Okay. We're going to keep going and just hoping this works. You know what I mean? We just, fingers crossed, still figuring it out. If not, the YouTube is done and this is still going to be on audio. Man, it's so funny. Same problems. Yeah. Time after time after time. Okay, so I watched Oppenheimer. I watched Barbie. 1 week after another. Oppenheimer first, Barbie second. And I feel actually kind of the same way about them. I think it was a good movie. I'll say this. I think both Oppenheimer and Barbie were good movies, but not great. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I felt Oppenheimer was too long, and I felt Barbie sometimes I don't know, for better terms, got lost in the sauce. Because I think I'm going to break down what happened in Barbie more, because Barbie to me was a little more frustrating because I thought a great movie was really in there, and at times they just settled for good, and some of the decisions they made, I was like, oh no, you were so close, because Oppenheimer was kind of what I expected. Barbie, the first 10 minutes, I was like, I did not see this coming. I did not expect this. This is fantastic. And then there's sort of places where I just sort of slipped. So if you don't want Barbie spoilers or Oppenheimer spoilers, I would turn this off now or go forward to a little bit later where I talk about something else. But you know, I truly feel like man, I hope this camera's not working. But I truly feel like about Barbie especially is that there genuinely was an incredible movie in there that would have caught everyone off guard, and certain points were like, damn, you know, we get it. You're fighting the patriarchy. You said the word. They said the word patriarchy so much, and it's like, be a little more subtle with it. You know, I always remember in my writing class, show don't tell. Show don't tell. Like, I get it. You're trying to show like, hey, there's a patriarchy, but like, you don't have to say it all the time. Show me the patriarchy. Show me. Don't tell me. Also, there's only so much of like you know, it is a movie from a white woman's perspective. So it's like, you know, someone who's number 2 on the social ladder acting like they're number 7 in hopes to become number 1. But I mean, the performances were great. I thought Margot Robbie was great. I thought Ryan Gosling was unreal. He was incredible. Ken should win an Academy Award. I think Best Supporting Actor is gonna come down between Ken and it's gonna come down between Robert Downey Jr. in Oppenheimer and Ryan Gosling in Barbie. That's what it seems like to me. But yeah, I mean, Barbie had moments. I like Barbie was like a. It looked gorgeous. It was like if a Wes Anderson movie had an actual plot. That's what it felt like. I was like, oh wow, I enjoy this. But yeah, there were certain things. I thought America Ferrera was not very good because I was kind of excited to see her because the few things I heard about Barbie, people were like, America Ferrera killed it, and I thought she was meh. I thought she was Margot Robbie and Ryan Gosling were acting circles around her. The speech she gives at the end is so bad. It's so bad. I think the biggest miss for me in Barbie is this is a spoiler, that the solution doesn't come from the main character. Like a lot of times, and I could be wrong, I'm not like a professional writer, but I feel like in a hero's journey type situation, right? The main character obviously gets help and divine help a lot of the time, but at the end of the day, the thing to overcome the obstacle comes from within them. And I didn't feel like it came, like it feels like some person from the outside world came in and solved all of Barbie's problems. You know, and maybe it's because Barbie's just a toy and America represents the real person behind the toy, but it's like, I don't know, it just felt a little off to me. And then the fact that there were a lot of themes going on with America that I felt like weren't really fleshed out, like her thoughts of dying and the cellulite, just like the sort of what it is to become older as a woman and as a human being, like dealing with thoughts of death and dealing with your mortality, and they just sort of like pushed that aside. And I thought that was a genuinely interesting thing that I was excited to see, and they sort of like, you know, went past that to push their message, where I think if they just showed a movie, it would have been a little more if they just showed a character going through what an actual character does, I think it would have been a little more effective than sort of pushing a message. I know why Ben Shapiro was mad. I could see where he got mad. But you know, at the end of the day, it was a good movie. I don't want to seem like I'm the big ass hater. It was a good movie. It's just for me, it was the great movie was there, and that was a little disappointing for me. Whereas Oppenheimer it should have been shorter. I think should have been shorter, and it was a little confusing. I wish they did a better job of telling us what character was what character. You know, like so. And this is just a filmmaker's choice, but like sometimes it took me a while to be like, okay, that's this person's name, and you know, I wish they had just been like, this is Richard Feynman, and not that sort of like stopping the movie, but just like a little text under the first time you meet him? Richard Feynman. Okay, I know who that is. Fuchs, I think, the spoiler alert, the British spy. Whenever they mention Fuchs, it'd be like, I think his name was Fuchs. I'm not 100% sure. I could be thinking of Barry. The show Barry, which, by the way, amazing show. That's great. If you haven't seen Barry, you got to watch Barry. But back to Oppenheimer, where they're working with barium. But I don't know if they're working with barium, actually. Regardless, could have been shorter, I thought. But I did think it was a good political battle. You got to see it was just a giant ego off between few people. You know what I mean? Like, Oppenheimer was just a giant ego battle between everyone. That's what it felt like. And I don't think everyone in the movie came out looking like a bad person, except for Einstein and the guy Rami Malek played. I think everyone else came off like a horrible human being. And I think that's kind of the point of it. But they were good movies. Weren't great. I think they're going to do well in the Academy Awards, both of them. I mean, Barbie, there's one for set design, right? There's one for set design, right? I think they should definitely win for that. Costuming, for sure, they're probably going to win. Although Oppenheimer had good costuming as well. Cinematography, Oppenheimer might have a good chance, and they both have acting awards. One of them, Oppenheimer, might win Best Picture. You know, it's one of those, and it's like, sure, I get it. I mean, the best film of the year was Spider-Verse, for sure. For sure. I don't think it's even close. That was an unbelievable film. Is that going to win the Academy Awards? No. Why? Is it because the Academy Awards are out of touch with the people? Absolutely. It's something they do on purpose. An animated film like that, I don't think is going to win, even though it's clearly the best movie of the year. Clearly. That's a hill I'm willing to die on. That Into the Spider-Verse or I think it was Across the Spider-Verse. That's what it was. Across the Spider-Verse. The second one was an unreal film. Best film of the year. For sure. But, at least at the very least, I hope with Barbenheimer, like, man, theaters are coming back. Because I will say this, the movie theater experience in Barbie and Oppenheimer, I thought both were fantastic. I genuinely did. It was just nice seeing there, and I got into it. I dressed up in pink. Hell yeah. I was like, you know what it was? I was like, I'll be a part of it. It felt nice to be a part of it. A part of something bigger at a movie theater. You know, it's not a feeling that you feel anymore. It's, the biggest thing I think that definitely went wayside from the pandemic is like hey, like, let's all get in this movie theater and watch this movie and see what it's about. Just searching up something. Let's see. Oh yeah, but like, this is what I mean. This is like real quick. This is what, like, some of the lines in America Ferrera's speech, right, are just so insane. I'm gonna read some of them before I move on to our last topic of the day. Spoiler for Barbie. When America's giving her speech, here we go. It's literally impossible to be a woman. You're so beautiful and smart. She's talking about Barbie. You have to be thin, but not too thin. You can never say you want to be thin. You have to say you want to be healthy, but you also have to be thin. You have to have money, but you can't ask for money because that's crass. Hey, first of all, bitches ask for money all the time. Hey, bitches, y'all ask for money. No, I'm kidding. I'm not kidding. But also, guys ask for money. Someone asked me for money yesterday. It was a dude. That's not like and I thought it was weird. It's not. That's not just a woman thing to need money and not to ask for money because that's weird. You know what I mean? Like that's what I mean. It's like it got a little lazy there, and it's like, well, that's just an every person problem, not a woman problem. You have to be a boss, but you can't be mean. You have to lead, but you can't squash other people's ideas. It's like, well, defeats the purpose of being a boss. Bosses absolutely have to squash people's ideas. You're supposed to love being a mother, but don't talk about your kids all the damn time. That also applies to dudes. You know what I mean? Like, this was supposed to be a big speech moment that made me learn about women. And I just felt like this is like everyday things. You know, you never forget that the system is rigged. It's rigged for everyone, white ladies. Never be rude. Never show off. Never be selfish. Never fail. Never show fear. Never get out of line. That's an every person thing. That's an every person thing. I guess that's where I felt like some of the struggles for women in this movie are just like, that's also an everyday struggle. I get it. You want me to seem sympathetic towards women and want me to learn about women. But you know what's not going to make me sympathetic towards women? A woman talking too much. Am I right, fellas? Oh. Yo, I did all that for that stupid joke. I read from my phone for a stupid joke. Oh, man. Barbenheimer. Okay. Last thing I want to talk about. Let me bring it up here. Sorry, let me bring up my timer. So, some little behind the scenes, I film my podcast and do some breaking news afterwards. That's my little flow I got going down. You know what I mean? But I'm on a tight schedule because I'm renting a studio now. Your boy's moving up in the world. Still haven't gotten the camera situation figured out, but your boy's moving up in the world. I'm doing what I can. Thank God we have the backup camera going, though. Jesus Christ. Okay, so Barbenheimer. No, I talked about Barbenheimer. We talked about Barbie. We talked about Oppenheimer. Could have been good movies. Aren't the best movies of the year. Plain and simple. The thing that I read that I thought was interesting, because I was like, oh, bro, I didn't even talk about Lizzo. Hold on. Lizzo. Am I surprised? No. What? Is this shocking? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Over the top, unchecked consequences. So what am I saying? Hold on. Let me restart that because I combined my whole thought into one sentence. Over the top, unchecked confidence leads to, I'll say, interesting consequences for the people around you. When you think you're just the shit for being the shit sometimes you make people around you eat bananas out of strippers' pussies. If you have no one around you that's be like, hey, you know, you're great and all, but relax. People surround themselves with yes men. And in a great, almost Game of Thronesian move, Taylor Swift then gave her tour like bonuses that equaled around $55 million. Around the same time the Lizzo news hit, and I was like, what a great move. Game of Thronesian move even. Makes me think that Taylor Swift might actually be Cersei. But what a move. What a move. What a move. That's what I applaud. Is I think that maybe that wasn't a calculated move, but me thinks it probably is. Okay, so that was my quick little Lizzo thought. 2. But the last thing I want to talk about is, so I was, you know, skimming through the news and I saw something interesting about this mercenary group. Not this mercenary group. What am I talking about? Jesus Christ. I'm losing my mind. I'm doing this. Hey, what up, Josh? I just want to make sure, is the backup camera still good?
Still on there?
Yes.
Yeah, the backup one's this one.
Figuring out the camera situation right now. Well, I mean, we can do as long as the backup camera is still good, because we can use that for the breaking news later. Yeah. Do 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 do. Boom 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 boom. I'd never edit anything out, so that is the gist of this podcast. I rarely edit anything out. I'd never edit anything, really. I can't think of the last thing I edited out of this. Probably that one time I screamed the N-word for no reason. But other than that, everything else stays. Everything else stays in. All right. But yeah, so I was reading the news, and apparently there was this military coup in Niger, which is, I know that's the name of the river that the country is named after, but it is like, it is like a kind of wild thing to name a country. Or to like, you know what I mean? That'd be like if there was an Asian country named Choink. Anyways, so there was a military coup in Niger. And I was like, oh, this will be fun to talk about on Dangerous Brown. Like, what's going on over there? It has, something so far away from America. What's going on? Well, it's probably like, a regional thing that has no consequences for the world at large. Right? That's how wars work. No consequences from the world at large. Already in the middle of a war-torn region with a lot of, like, militant Islamists and, just a lot of military instability. Apparently, this is, like, the seventh regime change, seventh lead change in Niger. Whatever's going on in Niger is like a good basketball game. Just a bunch of lead changes. So they had a president named Mohamed Bazoum, presumably sucked ass. And then the military contingent took over the capital. They're holding Bazoum hostage, and whoever new coming in is going to suck in their own different way. But what's interesting about the coup is that Bazoum was French and United States backed. The military coup, the military that did the coup, is backed by Russia, by the Wagner Group, which I'll talk about them in a second. And like after the military coup took over, there were people in Niger in the capital dancing around with the Russian flag. And I was like, oh, this is a proxy war. That normally, we're back in Cold War times. Ukraine, big proxy war. That's big because it's happening in Europe, so we care because it's happening to white people. But Niger, in the middle of war-torn Africa, we care a little less, but it's important. It is its biggest export is uranium. And now Russia has control of it. Interesting, right? Interesting. Just this little bit of information flipped the whole thing. I was like, oh, that's why it reached us, first of all. Because I was reading an article and I was like, in neighboring countries like Mali and another one that I don't even remember, there were uprising against democratically held states. Like democracies in that part of the region have been falling, but I never heard of it really. And then Niger happened, and it has nuclear implications. I thought it was interesting. The Wagner Group, which is like a group of like mercenaries that like work under the Russian government. Hold on, I'm gonna look up the Wagner Group. Hold on, because it doesn't sound real. It sounds like a Blackwater type stuff. Yeah, it's a private military, so it's like Blackwater. It's a Russian private military company, and they were in the news for trying to start their own coup in Russia for a little bit. Remember like a month ago when Russia was on the brink of like a coup or a civil war, and then the Putin was like, hey, don't do that, and then the Wagner Group was like, okay. I'm sure more stuff happened, but that's what it seemed like from the outside going in, where they just sort of stopped having a coup, and he let the guy live for whatever reason. He let the guy who started the coup just live. And then work for Russia's interests later. Like, what happened there? What the fuck happened there? I'm sure what I said was incredibly wrong, but there was this thing where like Russia's completely destabilized now. What happened? Could I read about it? Could I look it up? Yeah, I could. Would I rather just be confused about it? Be like, what the fuck? Yeah, I would much rather be that. I would much rather be that. Be that. Much rather. What? The coup. There was a straight up coup going on. It didn't happen. But yeah, I saw that and I thought it was interesting. It was interesting. You know, the Wagner Group really tried when it came to Niger, but didn't try when it came to Russia. Interesting. To bring it all the way back. To bring it all the way back to what I was saying in the beginning. Wagner Group tried. Kind of. Barbie tried kind of. Oppenheimer tried kind of. But they tried. That's not fair. Barbie and Oppenheimer tried a lot. They just missed the mark. And I appreciate the effort. I appreciate both those movies. Wagner Group, I don't know what's going on there. It feels like that coup was quote unquote fake news, right? At this point, it had to have been fake news. No way that shit was real. It was a way to, like, I don't know, bait America into thinking that maybe they paid enough money. Maybe this is maybe a theory that America paid a lot of money to the Wagner Group, and the Wagner Group pretended to take Russia, and then when they got to the Capitol, they were like, all right, we're done with the theater, back to actually being a unified front. Because, I mean, how is everyone in Russia falling out of a window except the guy who tried to start a coup? There's something happened there, right? Anyways, there was also this crazy video of Myanmar a few years ago where a lady is doing like a fitness Instagram video. This is my impression of fitness. A fitness Instagram video, and there's just a military coup happening behind her. Isn't that wild? Isn't that wild? I wonder if the people in Niger were doing like an Instagram dance while it was happening. That's so weird that like memes and real life coincide now. Real life is a meme, dog. Hey guys, real life is just like a meme, you know? But yeah, guys, this was, you know, try. This was a try. And like a lot of my episodes are, they're good tries. But I had a good time with y'all this week. Hopefully nothing happens. By the way, so these come out on Monday as of right now, and I film either Thursday or Friday. So hopefully nothing big happens over the weekend. But it's just a recap of the previous week, really. But you know, it's interesting how something all the way in Niger can have far-reaching effects in a way that I didn't even really think about. Or I would have never even known if I didn't do a quick Wikipedia search. And I found out this information because I tried. I just tried to learn some stuff. And again, take that with you today. With whatever you do, just try. If you're not already trying, just try. See what happens. Who knows? I love you, infidels. Peace in the Middle East. See you next week.